Thank you very much. Welcome to the Connect Show. The Connect Show is coming to you live from all over Wisconsin, Nashville, and Canada. We're glad that you're joining us on this stormy Tuesday, and thank you for choosing to spending the morning with us. We recognize your grit and perseverance that it takes to start a small business and be a small business owner.
And it's great to spend time with all of you this morning. The Connect Show is here to help you rise above the noise and share your message to the world. If you'd like us to cover a specific topic, please email us at theideas@theconnectshow.com.
And the Connect Show is brought to you by Connect Media Live, and that's our parent company that creates content. We do digital media, and we're your digital media supply chain. So if you're thinking about creating a show, doing social media, a website, or you just like to get out in front of people, we take care of everything for you.
And we'd also like to thank our sponsor, Expansive Workplace, where we normally broadcast from every day. John could be sitting in his studio right now. You don't even know. Expansive has locations throughout the whole country and is a wonderful place to work and a great community to be part of. And who do we have on the show today, John?
Today we have Jason Cronin and Adrian Daly, and it's going to be a pretty interesting show. And we're going to be talking about your best self and how we can do those things that we can show up every day and be at our peak performance and be our best.
I'm pretty excited about our Be Your Best Self month in July, because it seems like summer is the time when you start thinking about, first you've got January where you set your New Year's goals and you start thinking about wellness and everything, but it normally fades off by this time. So now is a great time to rethink about everything to be your best self. So I'm pretty excited about this month.
It's like a New Year's resolution reboot.
Redo. Yeah, reboot. Yeah. It's just to remind you all that, yes, we have to keep our best selves in mind. And that's so many different forms, from mindset to body to education to all your mind, everything. It's all over.
When you talk about your day, what does your perfect day look like? If you were to map it out to be your best self, what would your best self perfect day look like?
It would mean that I got all my stuff on my checklist done. So I drank all the water I was supposed to drink. I did all the exercise I was supposed to do. I ate all the right foods. I ate them at the right times. And then on top of that, then I got all my client work done, additional work done, saw friends and family, like everything. Got something accomplished. So I'm super excited. That would be the perfect day.
Can you do it?
I have done it. So I know it's accomplishable. Accomplishable, is that a word? Yeah. But it does take a lot of maneuvering and a lot of self-discipline and diligence and a lot of things to fall into the right place too.
Do you find that you can sustain it over many days in a row, or is it just kind of like a one-off?
I can maybe do it 2 to 3 days in a row, but more than that gets pretty difficult. Mm-hmm. And I can do parts of all those things all the time. I just can never get all of them done every day.
It is amazing when you get a ton of stuff done in one day and you're all over the place and you accomplish so much. Some of my friends are like ultra high performers where they have, super successful businesses, relationships, social life. They have all of the above, everything. And I see what they do in a day and they're just all over the place. They're doing all these things and they're doing them all well. So I know it can be done. And when I have those days when I can do all of those things, it's like, I can do this. It kind of gives you a little bit of confidence and belief in yourself that it's possible.
But on the flip side, it can be frustrating when you can't get it done and agitating and annoying. And then you get a little bummed and then you don't put as much effort towards it. And then all of a sudden it happens again. It's like a roller coaster almost. I wish I could be on the high roller coaster every day, the high part of it.
Yeah, but then it would get boring.
I'm okay with that.
then you'd be
because
depressed. Look at all
boring.
the rock stars who say they're unhappy. You know, they're sitting living on a prayer, doing Bon Jovi songs in front of 100,000 people, and they wake up in the morning and they're depressed. Bon
That is
Jovi
true.
isn't, but Linkin Park was. Didn't
But
work out
yes,
well for him. So
that is true. But that's not doing your best self things. That's getting caught up in all of your hype and all of your glory, and that's not taking care of your best self. So they're
ah,
neglecting parts of it, and that's why they fall into that.
look at you. You just been. I just got served. That was
I
good.
know.
That
I
was
know.
good. That was good.
I've been doing a lot of research. I'm learning all about this best self thing.
So you talked about getting your enough water. You decided to do the water thing.
I like water. I just can't do it first thing in the morning. I
Uh,
did drink tea every day last week before coffee because I heard that that would have been better, but that only lasted a week. So hopefully I can
hmm,
get back on that.
yeah.
That's hard. I don't
Yeah.
know, that the coffee habit is a hard one to break, but if I can break it, it'll be great. I mean, if I can just have coffee like 2 hours later in the day, I hear that you're supposed to have it later in the day and not first thing in the morning because you don't really need it first thing in the morning. Makes sense. I mean, why do you not have energy first thing in the morning? You should already have it.
Hmm.
So, and then you can get water in your diet. So,
There you go.
Sarah Deacon said, or Bill says that comes from having to do the same songs the same way night after night.
Yeah,
Oh,
I can see that.
mhm.
And Sarah says that being rich and famous, everyone should experience being rich and famous. Jim Carrey said this, and that wealth and fame aren't everything that is cracked up to be.
Mhm.
Um, I've been rich and I've been poor. I like rich better. Yep, I can agree with that. So, if you have a morning routine or a perfect day, if you want to share that in the comments, and if you are on LinkedIn, Facebook, or YouTube, put it in the comments and we will check on those. And I'd love to see what you do for your morning routine and what a perfect day looks like for you. So,
Onto our volunteer section. So the
you,
Connect Show is made up of all volunteers. John and I are volunteers, Kim's a volunteer, and everybody behind the scenes are all volunteers. And we are expanding and we're creating new roles, and we're going to be bigger and better than ever before. And we're relaunching for our third season in September. So we're pretty excited about that. We do have a volunteer meeting today right after the show. So if you are interested, if you're out there, if you're interested in watching, contact us at the ideas at theconnectshow.com and we'll give you the Zoom link for that today if you're interested in hearing more about the volunteer stuff that we have going on. That's all. I think that's all I got on volunteers.
that is all you have, and I was goofing around with the LinkedIn. So we talked about our best day. Doing
Yep.
your best is more important than being your best. And that is a quote from Shannon Miller. And with that, we would like to.
Bill and Sarah put some comments in the chat about their days.
Yep.
Bill says if he wakes up, it's already a great day. And Sarah says, Hal Elrod's miracle morning. She drinks a full glass of water, followed by 20 minutes of yoga every morning. She reads while she eats breakfast. She fills in her daily planner and often writes a few pages in a journal. Nice.
Yeah, that is, I think the miracle. Oh, we got that book, The Miracle Morning, from Gail Johnson,
Yeah.
friend of the show. And that is a great way to start the day. That's how I started my day today.
Did you have the water first thing in the morning and you had yoga?
I do that. I have one of these. Oh, you can't see it too well. Yep. I
That
got one of
glass.
these. I do that every morning. And I was doing a funny yoga thing yesterday.
Face yoga?
No, I was doing a funny, no, yoga, like a yoga joke that I was going to put into the skit. And it involved the yoga fart, which is funny all the time. I didn't actually do it.
would find something about farts on that. That's not surprising.
But in trying to do yoga to see what it would look like, I realized how un-yoga I am, and so I'm like, I have to do this every day because I need to stretch.
Oh, yes,
Yeah,
your muscles can really tighten up after time. And then
yeah.
you're like, oh, I can't move that way anymore. I've noticed it with my neck. Like you can only turn your neck so far, but if you start practicing turning your neck farther and farther every day, you realize that your neck really does go to the side more farther than you thought.
If someone's just joining us, they're like, "This is so weird. What are they talking about? And how did they get so far off script?" I don't know,
This
but
is
that's
it's
great.
all about being your best self. It's totally on script.
That is best self is being loose. So with that, you know what I think we need to do is do a little networking report with Kim Knock.
Kim,
That was good.
that was
Up.
good.
You guys can stay up with me. Bringing myself up. Happy Tuesday, day after 4th of July. Holy cow, I'm alive and I'm here. I did the ultimate networking event yesterday, which was plan a huge celebration for my little city. So I networked through my entire town yesterday and I got to see Santa in July, which was pretty
Wow.
cool. So
All a reminder of how you have to stick to your routines that you started in January. You know, Christmas is only
yes,
6 months away.
it is only 6 months away. And Santa has been watching St. Francis. So he told the kids, he was telling adults that were on the naughty list. He said, I've been watching you. You need to shape up before December. So he was telling them along the route. So it was great. Some things I'm going to talk about for our networking report. Sorry, I did a ton of talking yesterday, so my voice is yuck, but I'm going to do the best I can. Small Business Milwaukee, which is run by Tracy Champagne, the second and fourth Tuesday of every month, we have a brand new event, which
Thursday.
a Thursday. Thank you. Sorry, Thursday at 10 a.m. Central. We have a brand new event, which I just fell in love with our first one. We call it the show and tell event. And you basically come with an ask or two, depending on the or three, depending on the crowd. And we all help each other get through something. So whether you have a Facebook post that you're like, you know what, I really could use some traction on this. I'm trying to accomplish this. You need some reviews, some people that might be in the group that have worked with you. We go right in and do the work during the call for each other. It's wonderful. We got how many reviews done, Tracy?
I got 2 reviews that day on LinkedIn.
I think I got 2 reviews. Tracy and we work so much together. It's like, I don't even like give her a review. How rude of me. And I went and I gave her a review that day, right? There was a few people that really want some traction on their Facebook group and they've been networking with us for a while. Absolutely. Let me go like your page. And I just love that event. So second and fourth Thursday at 10 a.m. And this is a Zoom event. So just come with a couple of links ready and we'll get through as much as we can. I will link all of this in the chat so you could pre-register, add it to your calendar, and you're not going to miss out. And then these friends at the Connect show every Friday at 10 a.m. We like 10 a.m. Central. We have a mastermind group from the friends at the Connect show, and we take an entire month. We find a problem or something that can help with any small business owner or whatever, and we come together and we mastermind through stuff. This month, what we're doing is we're going through the sales process as well as accountability. So we're taking some of our sales processes, setting some goals, and then we're coming back the following week and telling each other where we hit with those goals, and keeping ourselves accountable. So it's really, really, really great. 2 great events that happen with us. So even if you didn't make last week was the first event, that's okay. Come set some more goals, join us. Those links will be in the chat, or you can find them on Small Business Milwaukee's website if you're joining us on LinkedIn, YouTube, or the Facebook's watching us later. You can find the show and tell event on Small Business Milwaukee's calendar, or head on over to the Connect Shows website under our networking events and find our mastermind event. That's what I've got for you today. Also, one final thing. I always forget to talk about this. We have an event calendar on our website. If you do networking, you have some kind of event coming up, add it to our calendar absolutely free. We're here to help support you. Thank you.
Well, thank you, Kim. Fantastic. So our first guest today is Adrienne, and she's been sober for over 9 years. And it took her a year to finally let go of alcohol after making the decision. With much of her time spent on her own personal development, she knew that discovering a modality profoundly affected her growth, and that it would bring forward to others who could benefit. When Adrienne came across hypnotherapy and saw how much it was changing people, she knew this was a method that she could bring forward.
She launched her business Mind Aligned Hypnosis in January of this year, and she enjoys passing along her knowledge of the mind and being a part of the massive breakthrough experience as a result of the work. She's trained in RTT through primary use advanced conversational hypnosis with her clients, and she really understands that considering our problems are in the subconscious mind, this is the mind we need to work on when we find the solution. Welcome, Adrienne.
Thank you so much.
Thanks for joining us today, Adrienne. We really appreciate it. Where are you calling? Where are you located?
So Niagara Falls. We'll say
Okay.
Niagara Falls. Yeah.
Perfect.
Yeah. Just outside of Niagara Falls.
Nice.
Canada.
Well, welcome to the show.
Thank
So my first question for you is, why do our problems exist, and how do we break through them, or how do we break those problems?
Mhm. So our problems exist because we were programmed when we were, between the ages of 0 and 7 when we were kids. We put conclusions and beliefs, age appropriate beliefs on things when we were children, which turn into our problems when we're adults. Because the mind that created those beliefs still thinks you're 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 years old. It doesn't know that you aged on the outside. So now we're having childlike responses to our current adult realities. All of our problems are very illogical. If they were logical, you could just decide not to have them. It'd be like, well, that's the solution. I'm just going to do that. But half of it is stuck, or most of it is stuck in the subconscious, which still thinks you are a child. So then we have these problems come up. So if we want to really resolve the problem, we have to get that information involved to break the reality of that. Update your mind a little bit to say, hey, I'm 40 or 50. I'm not a little kid anymore. So yeah.
That means we have to grow up for this to work.
A part of your mind just has to realize that, okay, that doesn't make sense.
Yeah. I think that for me, growing up, I've learned that there was a time in my life when I went through everything that my parents were teaching me or had taught me. And then all of a sudden I started questioning them, I think in my mid to late 20s or something. And I started questioning them going, wait a minute, I don't really necessarily have to agree with everything that they taught me. And I can start changing all these things.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And when you talk about, I love this, the being your best self. So many people walk around with this lack of worth, in many areas. If we didn't suffer from this lack of worth, we wouldn't have jobs we don't like, or we wouldn't be in relationships we're not happy in, and that is learned behavior. That is just beliefs that the subconscious to keep you safe in some way. But when you really start getting to know yourself, if you actually knew yourself, we'd recognize how much worth we really have. And that really starts with breaking down those realities in your mind that keep you stuck in that place of lack.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think in my journey, having those bad programming, those bad habits, or those things that I learned, they're like layers. I think of them as like a like these heavy coats or these heavy, blankets, and they're the programming that I got when I was young, and they're not healthy, but sometimes they're comfortable, you know.
Mhm.
I got sober a while ago also, and learning to peel off those layers and get past that was really hard early in sobriety for me, just because um, it took a few years to kind of work through that, and it took a lot of outside resources. I couldn't do it on my own. I needed people outside of myself in order to recognize my worth and things like that, like what you said.
Yeah, like all those coats, they're uncomfortable, but they're very comfortable.
They're
So
hot.
yeah.
Yeah.
They're hot. You want to take them off, but then you get cold and then you put them back on again.
Yep.
Absolutely. Yeah. A really good analogy. It's and sometimes we need even like outside observation because we're so in it that we need someone else to point something out to us, because what we're doing is just the uncomfortable comfortable.
Yeah. Like you don't really know you're crazy when you're crazy, but after you're crazy, then you're like, oh man, I was crazy back then.
Yeah, that was
So true.
What was I doing?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That can work the opposite way though too. Like if you were really successful at something and you made this great decision, you can look back at that and go, God, I was killing it then. That was so great then. Works the opposite way too.
Yeah.
So what is something that people needlessly suffer from where high achievers are no exception? Ooh, this falls right into our conversation we talked about earlier with high achievers.
So, and this is coming right back to the self-worth and the identity, their lack, or what they hold in their eye as their self-image. So we can put on a face to the public. We can go into a leadership role and be good in certain areas, but behind closed doors really feel, that not good enough into some capacity. And, when we're really honest with ourselves, we can feel confident in some areas of our life, but really that lack of worth in others, that can have just this underlying tone in all of the things that we do. I do believe that some people are just a lot better at disguising it than others.
Yeah, that's such a good point.
Yeah. So this, the success rate, it's like 5% of people in the world are successful, maybe less, as we would say, like financially free and, with a growth mindset. Why is it like that? Well, we don't know how to properly use our minds. We weren't taught that. We were always taught in the education system to work for somebody. So all of the faculties that allow us to expand and create our lives and grow, all the things that assist us to master our mind, we have to seek out on our own. And usually that happens when someone is in a place of like real pain and sadness where they're forced to change. And then it's like, okay, but if you don't get to that point, then we tend to live in a state of mediocrity. Because it is more uncomfortable to do the things that you have to do to grow and learn about yourself than it is to stay where you are.
Yeah. And that reminds me, when you go to a Tony Robbins event, and other people do this also, they, a lot of people are just kind of moving along. They're kind of in between really good and really bad. They're just kind of in that middle channel. And to make change, you're not going to make change if you're in that middle channel, because it doesn't hurt enough, or there's not enough movement or drive to do it. And so in a lot of those events, they do a meditation where they bring you into imagine your life when everything sucks. And they talk you through it so that you feel that pain. And it's at the Tony Robbins events, you're with 10 to 15,000 people, and everybody's going through this, and you're supposed to scream and cry out all of your pain. to let it go, so
Yeah.
that you get to that point where, yes, this sucks and I don't want it, so that you can then go to that next step of saying, here's what it will look like in the future, and embrace that new you, your best self.
Yeah. I mean, we really, cower at the challenges that come up in life. But, if you've just been skating along and you come up to something difficult, almost make it a celebration, because this is your chance to, okay, this challenge, what can I learn from this? What do I need to change? Because I was living in this very comfortable, neutral place. Everything's okay. Now I've had this event come in my life, now, like, this is like the doorway for your growth, for what you have to do to level up. And most of us need that. Most of us need to be faced with these challenges in order to change.
Yeah. And I was just going to say that it's kind of like exercising. Like, if you don't do much exercising and all of a sudden you get injured, it's like you're totally laid up. But if you do a lot of exercise and you get injured, your recovery time normally can be much faster, because you're already like motivated enough to go ahead and do those. You're more skilled at it. It's like a skill you have to create of constant change and issues.
Yeah. That growth, and to keep going in that direction, because we can easily fall back if we don't keep going with that momentum. We like the familiar, we like comfortable. And if you want to be living your best self, to be willing to stretch yourself and do things that are scary, and challenge your mind, because I think we're so much more capable than we know. It's unbelievable.
And I think that goes back, we had Tracy and Kim had a book club, and it was about Think and Grow Rich. And when you think about being wealthy, if you're making enough money to pay your bills and you got a little bit of extra money, it's hard to like click your mind into, I want to get to that next level, because you have everything you need. You're in that comfort level. So that motivation, that drive's not really there. If you're broke and you can't, and you can't pay your bills and you're about to get evicted or foreclosed on or whatever, that's a great motivator for you to become rich, because you have that drive. So I think that's really interesting, and maybe that's something we can explore in that book club of, how do you get from being comfortable and making enough money to propel yourself into that next level?
You got to scare yourself into misery every morning and go, if you don't do this, your life's going to look like that. And you got to threaten yourself every day.
Yeah.
Yeah, I actually just recently started reading that book as well. And really a big takeaway is that we look at money the wrong way. A lot of us say, I'm going to do that when I have this money, or, I can't do that because I don't have the money yet. And you're coming from a place of lack. And when you come from that place, you're going to experience more of it in your life. There's no really wealthy person who wasn't willing to lose a lot first, with the faith and the belief that they were moving in a right direction and it was going to come to them.
Yeah.
Right? It's like the poor people worry about debt.
That is great.
Yeah. That's sweet. Because then something really good is going to be coming later.
Yeah. Well, if you have the right kind of debt for income producing debt is what we all want to have, and I think that's fantastic. There's a new movie out and a whole to-do that you can get about Think and Grow Rich. It's there's like 10 people who talk about the book, and on podcast and an audio version, and you get all these different versions for $59.99. I don't know if anyone's gonna buy that or has any input on that. I'd love to hear about it.
Yeah, I've looked into getting it too, because my favorite person I like to stalk, Grant Cardone, is in there, and so is Bob Proctor.
Lewis Howes is in there also, I think.
Oh, I like to stalk him too.
Yeah, he's cool. That's cool.
Yeah, he's good.
So what really hinders the success of most entrepreneurs and business owners?
I believe that, so when we step into, when you have this idea of the service that you want to provide, you want to start the business, you want to step into this role, but you step into that role not realizing that you are not just the person providing that service that you might be really good at. You are also a salesperson, and you're a marketer, and you're a leader. You are the face of your business. You know, you're all of these many things that for so long have terrified us in the past. So it's that old self-image that gets in the way of that new person in that position, and their ability to grow their business as the person that they are, and a lack of understanding that we need to grow with business. You know, we can't be the same person. If we picture ourselves in a successful role, you can't be the same person in that successful role who has started with the idea of being that successful person.
Mm-hmm.
Because the person with that idea of wanting to go there is the person who has created the life that they're currently in.
Mm-hmm.
So there's lots of growth that need to happen along the way. It's really uncomfortable, but many people will come up against these walls. Everyone will say, you know, it's me, it's always me, I get in my way.
Mm-hmm.
So it is, and when you are stepping into leadership roles, running your own business, leading a team, speaking in front of people, that we come up with a lot of old beliefs within us that is going to fight you every step of the way until you start creating that developing that confidence, creating that new self-image to be that successful person that you have the goal to be.
Mm-hmm. That's such good words. There's the saying, next level success requires next level thinking.
Mm-hmm.
And I recently just added a part to my journal where I write out, who would my best self be 1 year from now and 3 years from now? And so just going through that exercise on a regular basis, what would I do? And that's kind of how I asked the question this morning, Tracy, of, what is your best self? What would that look like a year from now or 3 years from now if you were making this much money, or you had this level of success, or achieved whatever goal that you're set out to accomplish? And when you look at that, it goes, oh, am I acting like that today? I can act like that today. I can do yoga today, and I can have a smoothie rather than a soda, or whatever it is, so you can start acting those things now and kind of getting used to what that would look like.
Mm-hmm. You gotta start practicing that skill so then you can make it a skill.
Yeah, make it a part of reprogramming.
Yeah,
Absolutely. Yeah.
So do you have any offers or anything that you'd like to share with the audience, or a way that they could continue a conversation with you or work with you in the future?
Yeah, absolutely. So I have a website. It's www.mindalignedhypnosis.com. I'm also on Facebook and Instagram and LinkedIn. And I take direct messages, emails, any of that. I am actually also launching a workshop on July 21st. It'll be 1 hour at 1 p.m. Eastern. And it's called the Align Your Mind for Success workshop. And it is how to present with confidence by mastering your mind.
Oh, that's wonderful.
Yeah.
And we have all of your links to everything is in the chat. And we will put that on LinkedIn and Facebook Live also, so that people can get in contact with you.
Beautiful.
Wonderful.
Thank you so much for coming on today, Adrienne.
Yeah,
I'm
thank
so
you
glad we were introduced.
Yeah, me too. I love that I have just been able to be a part of this Be Your Best Self month. Yeah.
Thank you.
Awesome.
So Kim, do you want to do a marketing report before we go into our next guest, or how are you feeling about that?
Sure, why the heck not? Let's go for it.
Let's do it.
Let's go for it. Let me get myself on the screen. Let me get to my right page, because, doing all the things. So maybe in being your best self, I talk a lot about networking. It's the thing. Tracy and I network like nonstop. I feel like it's nonstop. So part of being your best business self, excuse me, I'm very sorry, requires networking. Some people don't understand if they're networking, don't realize if they're networking, but let's talk a little bit about it. So strengthening business connections comes from networking. So everyone that shows up for this show every week, you may not end up on the camera, but you can network with each other and talk with each other in the chat. That all counts. You're able to share with others. You can form trust and help one another reach their goals. So with networking, it's not all about what you're going to get out of the situation. It's about what you're going to give. You get regular engagement with others and you help each other reciprocate back to you and your company. So in turn, I say it's not about what you get out of it, but you're going to get something out of it. Whether it's a good feeling, someone might leave you a great review because they were like, you know what? They helped me do X and it really had nothing to do with your company, but you could still get an amazing, stellar review out of it. You can get regular career advice and support. So some of those networking meetings, like what Tracy and I attend or run, is about supporting one another, just like the show and tell event. It's instant support from people, and you build those long lasting relationships. You can get mentors with like-minded people. So I know Bill Sargent loves a mentor. And what better way to find someone that has similar goals than to attend a networking meeting or something? You can get potential referrals because people are building those relationships with you. They're building trust. They're not collecting a business card, filing through all their stuff and saying, oh, you need a photographer. Let me go find 500 business cards and I'll give you 50 contacts that I think might be okay. Whereas I've networked with a photographer, I'll say, you know what? Hey, this guy, he's good. He's got a good personality. He's fun. He's energetic, life of the party. And I just pick on Bill as a photographer all the time. So build those relationships. It is also about marketing. It's kind of in a twisted backwards way, you might think of it, but it's really not. It is how you get the referrals, get trust. And I love networking. So join our networking events. Get a little kickstart. We're nice people. We welcome everyone. Everyone is welcome at all of them. So that's what I have for our marketing moment.
Build the relationships first and the business will follow.
That's right.
Great, great stuff, Kim. Appreciate it. So Tracy, who's coming up next?
Next we have Jason. Jason owns Body Express Wellness Solutions and produces a podcast TV show called In His RV called Wellness on the Go. He interviews professionals from around the globe with the intent to help listeners discover their optimal well-being. The show ultimately enables people to tap into their true potential so they can thrive and not just survive.
Well, welcome, Jason. Thank you so much for for joining us today. Where do you hail from?
Where's your RV at?
My RV is in Nashville, Tennessee, actually. And it's real close to pretty much where all the music scene is, what everyone sees on TV.
Nice. So what made you become an exercise physiologist and human performance coach? And physiologist, I had to think about that for a second, because I'm like, become an exercise psychologist. And I was like, no, that's not it. So clarify that for us, if you could too.
Physiologist.
Yeah.
Yeah, most people don't realize what exercise physiologist is. They think it's a scientist, which we basically are. We're scientists of exercise. And the reason why I became this, when I was a kid, I wanted to be a robotic engineer, but I changed fields. I aced anatomy and physiology in high school, and I did really well. And my teacher said, why don't you check out athletic training? Went from athletic training, exercise science. And I've been doing that for the last 25 years. And I'm loving it, working with people and seeing them change their minds, bodies, and also their emotions, which is a really great feeling.
So how does the working out of your IV thing go?
Actually, I had a mobile trailer and I had 2 buses before for mobile gyms. But now the RV is basically more of a studio where I travel and do my podcast. And I go to people's homes with my vehicle, with my truck, bring equipment, or I use their equipment that they have on site. If it's in a business or if it's in a person's home or at a park, I'll bring equipment with me. But I'm very mobile, so I don't need a lot of equipment. I just need mostly their body and some basic equipment to really get an awesome workout.
So your RV is a podcast studio?
Yes, yeah,
I
I
have
actually have
envy.
everything in there.
Yes, I have lots of envy. So I traveled around for the last week and I saw all kinds of super cool sprinters and Winnebagos. And I was like, boy, would that be great to have one of those to not only camp, but to have for work, exactly what you're doing. So yes, we'll have to talk.
Most definitely. I'll hook you up.
John could be doing the show from the road.
Wouldn't that be
And all you got to do is
fantastic?
tether off your cell phone. You just plug your cell phone and tether and get the internet, and boom, there you go.
Well, that wouldn't work too well this week because where I was and where my phone service was, none of those things
No.
were connecting. Right, Tracy? We had a
Yeah.
long conversation about that.
Yeah.
Anyways, but since I'm not in trouble anymore, what's that next question, Tracy?
If you would say the words, if I would say the words optimal wellness, what does that mean for you? To you?
Optimal. Yes, I appreciate that question because optimal wellness, everyone feels it's just physical, intellectual, emotional. But I was doing an interview and the person said to me, it's having the life that you don't want to leave. You wake up every morning knowing that you have an awesome life. And we talked about this earlier. And I think that's the most important is having the emotional, the spiritual, intellectual, physical, environmental, financial, occupational, and social aspects with creativity, being creative in all those aspects and enjoying your life and saying, hey, this is an awesome life. I just want to keep doing this every day and share that with everyone else. That's what I feel optimal wellness would be, is having all that full package and being able to do that.
So how do what you do fit into that?
What I do is I help them explore what they're doing right now. So I focus on the physical, the mental, the emotional, environmental. And then if they feel healthy and well, and I get them to that point, they can do better with their occupational side. They can do better with their business side. So I help them avoid burnout, avoid stress, decrease their tension, make sure that the person is really at optimal well-being so that they can achieve more financial goals or achieve better emotional feelings so that they feel like they're able to wake up and motivated to do something and they're not just like, oh my God, I feel horrible. That's the biggest point, is making them feel well. And that's my goal, is to make them physically the best they can be.
And your program isn't you don't work just with people that are local. You can work with people on Zoom also and do all this type of stuff with them remotely.
Absolutely, yeah. I do coaching online. I do personal training online. I teach kickboxing online. I work with kids and adults and with special needs. My goal is to really work a lot online with clients because I know I can work with more people. But I do in person and online, and I do webinars online as well. All those aspects are available, so I don't have to be just in one location.
Fantastic. So you in reading your information, you talked about suffering from anxiety, and how do your programs help people who are dealing with similar problems deal with mental struggles or anxiety, and how has it helped you in particular?
Most of my clients actually are corporate individuals and business owners, and they deal a lot of anxiety from work and also social anxiety, physical anxiety, PTSD. I actually had social anxiety and social anxiety in general, anxiety most of my life. And what I was able to do, I developed a lot of tools and mechanisms to help avoid the feelings of anxiety. And when they're coming on, I know what to do. Part of my morning wellness routine is actually a ways to get rid of tension, where I tell people to get rid of, I talk down with in the morning. The person wakes up, doesn't drink any caffeine whatsoever, hydrates, and then they do a gratitude, self-talk. They go right into meditation. And after meditation, we do a talk down, get rid of tension, get rid of stress, get rid of anxiety, and you ask yourself how you're doing and tell yourself you're not responsible for anyone or anything. So it allows you to clear your mind and get rid of all those tensions. And I'm actually writing a book right now called The Enemy Within, Knockout Anxiety on the Path to Positivity and Happiness. And all in that book tells you what to do step by step of how my life changed from being super anxious all the way down to helping people get rid of anxiety and neutralizing their anxiety. And I do that with my clients. I do mindset training, physical training, and nutrition coaching so that they all know what to do if they're feeling anxious and get rid of the anxiety for the most part without medication as the best way, the natural way of doing it.
When you talk about anxiety, going back to our conversation earlier with Adrienne, she talked about programming, and what's the relationship between how you're programmed from ages 0 to 7 to anxiety? Is that where it comes from, or is that how it relates?
Yeah, when I was like a young kid, I was actually bullied up to the age of 13. I was beat up in school. I was yelled at. I was called names. I was a very nerdy looking kid. And I just definitely didn't fit in very well. And my self-esteem was horrible. But when I started doing martial arts at the age of 13, things changed and I had confidence, self-esteem, but I still had tons of anxiety. And for most people out there that don't realize it, if you have pain in your back, pain in your body, it actually might be manifesting from anxiety. It's not just an injury. I thought I had an injury for 20 something years and that my back always hurt, my joints and my body was always stiff. And once I had the anxious feelings go away, all that pain went away. Everything released. And with the meditation, with the self-talk, with the showing yourself that you care about yourself, you love yourself, tell yourself that you're worth it, those are really important. And that helped me actually get rid of those feelings of tension and pain, and it went away. All the pain in my back goes away, but whenever I'm anxious, it comes back because the muscle spasms increase when you're anxious and when you're stressed. And it is a training, and you definitely got to train yourself to train your mind that those feelings won't take over your body. Your mind is very powerful. You got to train yourself not to feel anxious. And when you do, how to control that, or it will take over you. I had severe panic attacks for years and ended up in the hospital multiple times. And I was able to stop those panic attacks now with the training I've learned for myself.
And I experienced those almost crippling back pains where my body was like twisted, and I went to the doctor and he's like, yeah, you just got a knot from, I don't know what you got going on up there, dude, but something's not working right, because my shoulder and my back, I had all of those, and it is just it hurts.
And a lot of it's
normally,
tension.
Normally I thought it was your upper back that was all the tension, but you're saying it can be any part of your back?
Yeah, I actually had it underneath my scapula on my left side for years. And then sometimes it would actually be in my stomach, like a hernia almost felt like. And then I actually had a situation just about 2 years ago where my joints and limbs swelled up whenever I got anxious. I had actually a histamine response. I had super bad a reaction to it. And people don't list, and I listed in my book about 20 different symptoms that people don't realize are actually anxiety related or anxiety promoted. And it's amazing how your body could respond to anxiety and the cortisol levels increasing and your body just going out of control. And a doctor asked me this. He said to me the other day, he said, what are you afraid of? And the main questions people should ask themselves is, what are you afraid of internally that's causing your anxiety? Anxiety is more of the fear. And they say depression is the past. And overall, he asked me, I thought about like, what am I afraid of? And I was afraid of getting sick. I was afraid of being ill. I was afraid of getting injured. I was afraid of not doing well. And my anxiety would kick in every time I think about going on stage. I get anxious. Going on a show, I get anxious. So now I just talk myself down, have a good time, enjoy it, and keep telling myself it's going to be a great time. It's okay to mess up. It's okay to have fun. And a lot more goes into it, but it's definitely important to tell yourself, what are you afraid of? And find out what the fear is. It could be anything.
Yeah, and everybody carries some sort of anxiety of some kind.
So let's jump into that stage fright thing. You just touched on it a little bit. You're on big stages with lots of people. When you started, you had crippling stage fright, I'm guessing. Is that correct?
Yes, I did stand-up comedy, and I had situations where I went basically blacked out, and I started sweating profusely, and I couldn't control my body movements. I started shaking, like really shaking, like tremors, really
Yeah.
bad.
And then, so now you still have anxiety, I'm guessing, but you just found a way to cope with it.
Exactly. I'm able to basically control it, because your anxiety will stay with you for most of your life. That's why people go to therapy. A lot of times they need to have someone to talk to help with their what's happening with their life. But they have those feelings, but you can actually control them. Same thing with PTSD. It's very important. That's a different type of anxiety. That's more of figuring out the situation and doing a lot more therapeutic mental work as well. But overall, now I can go on stage, like I'm a motivational speaker. I can go on stage now and enjoy it and actually have a great time, because I give love to my audience. I tell myself I'm giving a good message that's going to help someone in my audience, and allows me to do that. And I became a Toastmaster, which helps. Toastmasters help a lot with your anxiety on stage. You can practice over and over again your speech, but it's okay to mess up. Even the best performers in the world are anxious and have anxiety, but they control it. A stand-up comedian told me, that's really famous. He said that I use my anxiety as energy on stage. It's okay to be anxious, but use it as good energy to propel you to do awesome on stage. And that's what most
That's great.
performers use it for.
So let's bullet point those 3 things that we can leave with our audience on how to get over stage fright, whether it's on Zoom, on a stage, or speaking in front of a large audience. Give us 3 bullet points that our audience can take away.
The best one, the first one, is to give love to your audience, meaning that you close your eyes and you think about how well you're going to do on stage. Just say, I'm going to give a love to my audience. 2 would basically give yourself some time to prep yourself and get on stage before the show and feel your environment. And some people will walk around the whole perimeter of the auditorium or anything like that to get comfortable with it. And the next thing is to breathe, count to 10, go on stage and have fun and enjoy delivering your message, and just enjoy it and go with the flow and just have a good old time. It's the best.
That was a golden nugget, Jason. Thank you so much for sharing that with us. That was a gem. I think your book is going to be fantastic.
Thank you
I
very
think so
much. I really
also.
appreciate it. Thank you.
Yeah.
So do you have any specials or offers for the audience today?
Yes, I actually want to give away my morning wellness routine, like I mentioned before, and incorporates a lot more things than I was talking about with the yoga and all different types of practices that I do, along with the meditation. So I'm going to give away my morning wellness routine. You could download it free on my website. My website is bodyexpressws.com, and it's express without the E in the middle, bodyexpressws.com. And feel free to contact me there. And on my social media, it's all the same, bodyexpressws.
Very cool.
Awesome.
Very cool.
And we do have a page for you on our website with a link to your Facebook or my LinkedIn page and your bio and information. So
all the good stuff. Thank you so much, Jason. Great stuff. And I'll follow up with you on that RV.
I feel like a better self already today.
Yes,
just with our 2 guests.
And
Thank you very much for having me.
It's the New Year reboot, just like Matrix 4. So this will be great. So once again, thank you for joining us on the Connect Show. And our mastermind is every Friday at 10 a.m. And I heard that this Friday was pretty great. I had to listen. Bill put me in the corner because my phone was making some staticky noises, and I'm okay with that. But it was a great mastermind talking about sales. We all set out goals. Did you do your goals? Are you on track?
I don't think that we actually created any goals, but we had a lot of collaboration on that call. Everybody was helping each other. I know Mitch, who does our regular hype on this show, who couldn't be with us today. He was just had gotten off of a client call or something and needed some help, and everybody was able to help pitch in and all talk about the sales process. And I think Shannon had some sales stuff. I don't remember. It was a lot of great collaboration last week.
It was great. And this week is going to be more of the same. And that's Friday, 10 a.m. There's going to be a link on theconnectshow.com.
Yep.
And
next week we are just getting started with our best self month. So I'm super excited about that. We're going to have all sorts of great people. Next week we have Sandra. Is it Heft?
Huffed,
I
yep.
think it's Heft.
Mhm.
Heft. She's our makeup girl. She makes me look great every single time I'm in the studio.
And me, she touches
she
this
does
stuff.
make
Look
you
how
look great,
horrible I look
too.
without it. Ah.
So we're gonna have Sandra on the show and Jessica Dragon. She is a massage therapist. She's got a business where she goes to corporations and brings her massage chair. So that's kind of cool. And Christopher Weissong,
Yep, the bread guy.
the bread guy, and he's bringing us some bread. And Kim,
We're bringing
John, and
bread.
I are gonna make some bread. We're gonna bring it in for a taste
Yep.
test.
So we might have to do, this is such a big show that we might have to do this in the big room. I think we're gonna try to do that because we're all gonna be live. And we might have to get a little station set up for bread and the massage chair so we can do this and experience the whole thing. It's gonna be
Yeah,
pretty
looking
cool.
forward to it. It's gonna be
Yeah.
a great show.
And that's being your best self sometimes includes better
Having bread.
better face, and being chill. That massage chair is going to be fantastic. I call first dibs. So thank you for all of us for keeping the show running smoothly. We're going to have our volunteer meeting in just a moment.
Please
It.
like and subscribe. We always
Oh,
have
yeah.
to say like and subscribe like all the other YouTube and show people do at the end of their
Yep.
show, at the beginning of their show, during their show. Please like and subscribe.
We got to get dirty about that and do it all the time. So we will remember to do that constantly. Thank you so much for joining us. And with that,
That is a wrap. I just like to say that's a wrap at the end.
love it.